Hello everyone, it's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Call of the Wild. And I remember seeing the trailer for this and seeing all the ridiculous amount of CGI in this movie and thinking, I don't like that. And this really takes me out of this movie. Wasn't super excited to see this. I was excited once I saw that it was getting some positive reviews and Harrison Ford's in it, and you don't see him a whole lot in a whole lot of things recently. So I was interested in seeing it, and honestly, I enjoyed it. It's a nice, old-fashioned kind of adventure film, and that's what it's really going for. It does use a lot of CGI, and it can be distracting at times. I can understand why, not having to deal with all the actual animals and stuff like that. But there's also some set pieces that are really heavily CGI. But it's engrossing enough and endearing enough and charming enough. And Chris Sanders, who directs this, gives enough energy to this story for you to actually care. And I really felt for the relationship that built between Buck, this dog, and Harrison Ford, playing John Thornton. And there was emotional connection there. This is some of Harrison Ford's best work in years, and I was really excited about that. And he really comes to play in this. And besides them, like, Omar Sy gives a fun performance. I enjoyed him in this. Dan Stevens is so over the top and distracting and so one-dimensional. And he feels like he's overly forced into this story to kind of an unsatisfying direction that kind of throws off the third act of this a little bit. But I really bought into the grief and the growing and the call. And there's a lot of narration in this film, and it's done by Harrison Ford, and he does a really good job. Especially the ending narration, really sold it. But like, the narration's a little too on the nose with some stuff. It's like, did you really need to say that? And trying to spell things out too much for the audience. And the CGI can be distracting, and in general, it's just like exciting little romp of an adventure. And I feel like adapting this really old novel in this way and trying to make it more family friendly, this is a satisfying way of doing that, and I enjoyed it, and I think it has enough to offer for people to enjoy it too. So I'd recommend The Call of the Wild. It's not the best film you're going to see all year, but it's something that's enjoyable and exhilarating at times and has its thrills and has some charming emotional moments too. A little bit of humor. Some of it doesn't always hit, but Harrison Ford makes up for it. And honestly, Terry Notary, who plays Buck through motion capture, does a pretty good job with a lot of the fun, like facial expressions and stuff like that. But those are my thoughts on The Call of the Wild. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.